ChatGPT is an incredible tool that many of us have used in a lot of different situations since its debut only 2 years ago. It seems that it can do almost anything, whether it's helping you with your homework, writing code, or creating images. It has near countless applications. But there's one question no one has answered yet, and that is, can ChatGPT turn $1,000 into some crazy returns while trading in the stock market? Well, wonder no more, because I set out to discover the answer to this exact question. I'm going to invest 1,000 of my own dollars and trade solely off of what ChatGPT recommends. And we're not just talking about stock picks, we're going to be trading options. Maximum risk, maximum reward, all based on a program that is basically a glorified autofill. Will this AI help us achieve massive returns, or will we bust so bad that I have to cancel my ChatGPT subscription? Let's find out. Alright, starting this challenge off, I wanted to get to know the robot that was going to be controlling my trades for the next week. It seemed pretty knowledgeable on any question I asked, and so I thought it was good enough to kind of go ahead and just get in on the trades. I started asking it questions about what stocks it saw moving, and eventually got to the point where I told it to make a trade and decide which direction it was going to be. ChatGPT decided upon SPY, which is a ticker that tracks the S&P 500. Very fitting, because this is often the ticker that people will day trade on. Specifically day trade options due to the really high liquidity on the trade. And it actually gave me hope that maybe this challenge was going to work. Not only did it choose SPY, but it was bullish on SPY, which meant I was going to buy call options. The AI has spoken, and SPY calls it is. Let's get into my Robinhood. Okay, so the market opened and I decided to buy into a SPY call at a strike price of $554. It was currently trading just below that, and since ChatGPT said it was going to go up, I blindly bought in. I ended up buying that contract for a total price of $331. I didn't want to put my whole portfolio into this first trade because I wanted to test out the waters and kind of get to know what ChatGPT was all about and see if they really were worth their weight in anything. And ChatGPT called it. ChatGPT said the market was going to go up, and the market went up. So therefore, ChatGPT knows the entire market, right? No. But it was right in this instance. I bought this contract expiring Friday, and I knew I had to sell it fast and secure profits quick, otherwise I would be deeply in the red due to theta decay. For anyone who doesn't know, that just means that your contract is going to be worth less over time. So with SPY going up, the contract price started to rise. It shot up really quick, and in a matter of 10 minutes, I was already in the green. I set a take profit at roughly around 10% profit and just decided to let it coast from there. It ended up hitting that take profit, and I sold out of the contract for a total of $370. So that ended up actually being just about 11% profit on the first trade, and selling out of that first trade felt really good. I'm starting to have a glimmer of faith that maybe ChatGPT won't just delete my $1,000. And with that trade done, we are sitting at $1,038.91. Feeling pretty good with a small trade on day one. We'll see what Tuesday brings. I started day 2 of this challenge with a very simple question. Please provide me with a specific stock option contract I can buy that will print money. ChatGPT did not like this question. It was bringing up concepts such as risk and speculation, and ultimately it sounds like ChatGPT is not fit with a high risk tolerance. I think that's pretty lame, but I persisted onward. After a little bit of back and forth, ChatGPT finally gave me a good signal for what I was going to pursue today. The company in question was Spotify. ChatGPT has brought it to my attention that they are up over 12% in the pre-market today, and therefore it thinks we should short it. Or in this case, a put option, but very similar. We need the stock to go down. And so with my objective being puts on Spotify, I decided to go in with my entire portfolio at market open after our success yesterday. And so as you can see, here's our contract. Let's see what happens. So the Spotify stock decided that it was going to bounce around all day. The next couple hours, I didn't really see any signs of life, and I was beginning to wonder if I should close out and just accept this L. But before I did anything irrational, I needed to consult the almighty AI. I talked about what was happening, and I asked it for advice, and it gave me a very strong thesis. Diamond hands. We're currently down $175 on this $1,000 contract, so we are going to hold through and see what happens tomorrow morning. ChatGPT claims that there will be an investor sell-off. That is the main reason it's saying to keep holding. So we're going to keep holding and see what happens. I'll see you guys in the morning. Wednesday. Spotify was not kind to me today. So ChatGPT had a pretty bearish outlook on today, and for the most part, that was right, except for Spotify. I swear, dude, Spotify was the only company that was green today. Every single other company and index was down 2 to 3%, but Spotify just kept tearing, absolutely tearing in the morning. So I got nervous. It opened up at $333. Then it went to $336. Then we saw $337, and right around $339, I got really nervous. I was down over half of my position in a span of 20 minutes. I had the entire challenge riding on this contract, and so I really did not want to have to sell for a $500 loss. So I thought I would try and weather the storm, maybe? And then it ripped to $345.76. What the f***? Literally every other company was red today except for Spotify. I was getting absolutely destroyed today. At my worst, I was down almost $650. So I figured, what was even the point of selling out of that for a loss? Because I figured if the entire market was red and volume was low, but the price was increasing, that's also bearish. So I thought maybe Spotify would give later in the day. So I stuck to what ChatGPT said, and I held. And it started to slowly dip down. It eventually tumbled all the way down to $330, where my contract was worth significantly more than just a couple hours earlier. I ended up selling out of this trade only 15 minutes before close today for a loss of $300, which I know does kind of suck objectively, but it gave me enough time before market close to ask ChatGPT for one more stock pick for today. There are a lot of earnings this week, and I decided it would be a good idea to ask ChatGPT for some earnings plays. It gave me a nice selection of companies, but one struck my eye in particular. That company was Chipotle. Now, I love Chipotle. I've always been a Chipotle guy. You can't bet against the burrito. Their stuff is so good, even with their portions being so unpredictable. Their queso is kind of trash, though. But other than that, I really do love Chipotle, and I thought this was the best idea. So with this stock in mind really sticking out to me based on ChatGPT's recommendation, I wanted to know if ChatGPT thought it was going to miss or beat earnings that were happening just later today. Almighty ChatGPT said that the earnings were going to beat, so I bought calls. I ended up snagging two $53 contracts. It's currently trading around 51.5. I would have bought closer to the money or more calls, but I'm broke after that last trade. So total Wednesday activity, we sold out of Spotify for a $300 loss, and we ran that right into Chipotle calls. I'm really feeling good about this Chipotle thing. ChatGPT's on my side. What could possibly go wrong? Challenge total for Wednesday is $738.76. I will see you guys on Thursday. Day 4 of ChatGPT Trading Challenge. Let's talk about it. So Chipotle earnings beat. They had an earnings per share of 34 cents versus the projected 32 cents. So this was a beat by over 6%. So a decent beat for sure. After market close yesterday, Chipotle was all the way up to almost $59 a share. I felt pretty good about them beating earnings, but I knew there was IV crush coming. That always happens after earnings. So market opens today, and sure enough, there was a massive IV crush. Frankly, I saw this coming a little bit, but I thought it would do well enough during trading hours to bounce back. And that was not happening. All throughout the morning, it just kept dipping and dipping and dipping, and I was kind of getting worried. Earnings can be a very unpredictable thing for stocks, and so I already knew this was going to be a risk, but since I'm already down $300, I knew I needed to take some risk if I wanted to make any money. But this contract just kept trading sideways. It did not seem to want to move out of the $150 contract zone. So we were down roughly 50% right from the gate in market open. And so if you remember, I still have another $160 that I need to deploy. And so what I decided to do was to hedge my bets. Just because Chipotle wasn't panning out how I wanted to this morning doesn't mean I couldn't take another trade. So I once again consulted the AI, hoping this time they would not give me a company that was essentially half scooping my portions, but the equivalent for a stock price. And ChatGPT in all of its glory decided we would do SPY puts. So I bought into a contract for just about $160, and less than 30 minutes later, I was able to sell out for 40% profit, securing just over $200 for the contract. This was a nice respite from the beatdown that was the Chipotle contracts. But I didn't hear no bell. These Chipotle contracts still have 30 days till expiration, so if I hold them overnight, there will be very minimal damage from theta decay. We won't have to worry about it too much, and today was kind of a beatdown for Chipotle. It probably ended just about a percentage down. So obviously I wanted to keep holding on to this contract, but again, we're trading off of the AI's recommendations, so I needed to consult the almighty algorithm. And luckily, the algorithm agreed. ChatGPT thought that Chipotle would have a bounce back tomorrow, and so it was worth it to hold the contract. I liked this idea, so I didn't challenge the AI. That brings us to Thursday night, where we had one successful trade and one pending trade. The total for today is kind of convoluted, so from here on out, we're just going to wait until the final challenge total to reveal how much we have. Plan for tomorrow is to sell out of those Chipotle contracts, hopefully for a profit tomorrow, and then deploy it all into one final position. Cutting it close on this challenge, a little bit nervous, but I think we'll pull through. I will see you guys on Friday. All right, it's Friday market close. Let's talk about what we did today. So first up, the elephant in the room, the Chipotle contracts. Unfortunately, it did not go the way that ChatGPT said it would go. Today was not a good day for Chipotle, it just kept going down, and I did not see it recovering anytime soon. So I had to sell out of both of these contracts for an average price of $120 each. Pretty big loss considering we bought into each one at $285 a piece, but it is what it is. The good news was selling out of this trade, though. It meant that we could put our entire portfolio into one final trade. So I consulted ChatGPT for the final call out of this challenge, hopefully something big that we could make a substantial amount of our money because we are down pretty bad right now. And the idea it gave me was SPY calls. Blindly taking the advice of the AI, I bought into SPY calls. I bought 2 contracts at an average price of $220 each at around 9 in the morning. And the AI was right in this. The market started to move up, and these contracts actually ended up being worth a lot of money. I ended up closing these contracts just 2 hours after opening them for a total price of $664, which means an average contract price of $332. So yeah, we secured just over 50% profit in just a couple hours, which sounds great, still doesn't really offset our Chipotle losses today, but it certainly helps. So while that last trade from ChatGPT was a good call out, I was now officially out of day trades, marking the very end of this challenge. With those 2 trades in mind today, that brings our challenge total to $673.35. Not great, a net loss of $326.65. Just about a third of the challenge total was lost over the past 5 trading days. So this brings us to the question we asked at the beginning of the video. Can ChatGPT successfully give stock trading signals? Well, to nobody's surprise, the answer is absolutely not. ChatGPT is not a trading bot. It is a large language model, so it's trained on text and data like that, and it can't actually analyze real-time market movements. But I've seen some other things out there, people trying it, and I wanted to test for myself and to prove as a live experiment for you guys, so you know not to take advice from ChatGPT on something as important as your finances. Stock trading, and even more so, options trading, is a little bit like gambling, and so you really can't take advice from these random robots or any stock trading algorithm or any stock signal guys online. I really made this video for entertainment purposes only. Don't try and recreate trades with ChatGPT. I do not think it will go in your favor. This video was an experiment where I put 1,000 of my own dollars on fire for the sake of ChatGPT trades and your entertainment. It did not work out, but that is okay. At least now you guys know you don't have to set 1,000 of your own dollars on the line to test out if ChatGPT can do any good trading for you. While this video is not quite a success, I would highly recommend that if you're still here to watch this video right here, where I actually do end up making some crazy profitable trades. If you're interested in what I did here today and you're interested in entrepreneurship, personal finance, or the stock market, make sure to subscribe. I have videos coming out every single week on topics like that. Consider leaving a comment about what you would have done differently for this challenge. And like the video if you like money. Thanks for watching, guys.